A villain named Jaws, played by Richard Kiel, starred in 2 Bond movies, Moonraker, and this one, The Spy Who Loved Me.
The key!
Try the big one. Can you play any other tune? Let's try reverse. That's backwards. Would you like me to try it?
The Austrian actor Klaus Maria Brandauer brought a real human touch to the villain named Largo in the latest 007 movie, Never Say Never Again.
You gentlemen, the eternal battle for the domination of the world begins.
We play for dollars.
Random target selection, Spain. Value $9,000. Who wins $9,000?
Gave me a shock. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Unlike armchair generals, we will share the pain of our soldiers in form of electric shocks. One last point. If you let go the controls, you forfeit the game. As you were unaware of this, we will begin again.
What's interesting there is that most of the Bond villains have been impersonal megalomaniacs, guys with all the personality of an ice cube or an ice pick. But Brandauer as Largo was sort of a pathetic guy, kind of poignant. He wanted to rule the world, sure, but he also wanted to be loved by his girlfriend, and he couldn't have it both ways. I think we can make one general statement here. As long as the villains keep on being interesting in the Bond pictures, they can keep right on making new Bond movies as long as they want to. And I guess at this point we're going to pick our favorite villain.
Yeah.
I'm going to surprise you. I'm not going to pick some of those you might think are obvious, like Goldfinger or Dr. No. I'm going to pick Largo, Klaus Maria Brandauer, for this reason. He's the most interesting villain of all in terms of 3 human dimensions. He's not simply an accent and a lot of props.
Well, I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to pick him too, but declare a tie. For the very reason that you mentioned, I think it's the best performance. I think the most interesting character as written is Auric Goldfinger. I love that first name. Auric Goldfinger, played by Gert Frobe, who did a nice job. I just love the whole concept of the world's richest man that loves gold, just dripping in it, you know, laser beams, everything else. So I say the best character is Goldfinger, the best performance obviously is Brandauer. He is a marvelous actor. You made a very good point though. I saw a decline in the Bond movies along with Roger Moore with the fact that the villains weren't real threats to James Bond. You knew he could beat them cold, but not Brandauer. Brandauer's tough.
And they never had the scenes where they were interesting because of themselves. It was always, here's what I'm going to do to Bond, here's what I'm going to do to the world.
Yes.
And with this movie, they get back to the idea of the guy and his girlfriend and his own hang-ups and his own life, and then he meets Bond.
Yes, it's a critical reason why Never Say Never Again is so good. Coming up next at the movies, we'll switch the subject from men to women in the Bond films and each pick the most exciting female character in the James Bond series.
Such a delicate touch.
Sheer magnetism, darling.
We're each going to pick our favorite Bond beauty, and the nominees begin back with the first Bond femme fatale, 25-year-old Ursula Andress, playing Honeychild Rider and Dr. No. Bo Derek was in diapers at this time.
La da da dee da dee, honey and me.
Underneath the mango tree, my honey and me.
Who is that?
It's all right. I'm not supposed to be here either. I take it you're not. Are you alone?
What are you doing here? Looking for shells?
No, I'm just looking.
Stay where you are.
I promise I won't steal your shells.
I promise you won't either. Stay where you are.
I can assure you my intentions are strictly honorable.
Another great Bond beauty, Barbara Bach as Soviet agent Anya Amasova in The Spy Who Loved Me.
It's getting cold.
Is there anything I can do to warm you up?
You don't have to worry about me, Mr. Bond. I went on a survival course in Siberia.
Yes, I believe a great number of your countrymen do. What did they teach you?
That it's very important to have a positive mental attitude.
Nothing more practical than that.
Food is also very important.
What else?
When necessary, shared bodily warmth.
That's the part I like.
There are vast.
Our third nominee, Maude Adams, as the title character in 1983's Octopussy.
I'm not for hire.
Oh, a man of principle, with a price on his head. Naturally, you do it for Queen and country. I have no country. I have no price on my head. I don't have to apologize to you, a paid assassin, for what I am. No.
You're right. We are two of a kind.
And our fourth nominee, Barbara Carrera, as Fatima Blush in 1983's Never Say Never Again.
How reckless of me. I made you all wet.
Yes, but my martini's still dry. My name's James.
Hello, James. I'm Fatima Blush.
You ski very well.
I do many things very well.
I'm sure you do.
What brings you to Nassau, James?
I'm fishing.
For what?
Anything I can get.
I know the best waters. I'd be very happy to show them to you.
Now, why would you want to do that?
I'd like you to find what you're looking for.
A film critic's job is rough. I don't know, I've got a thing for Maude Adams. I loved her in Tattoo. What can I say? She's sexually exciting, and that's the function, of course, of the Bond women. So my choice is based upon who excites me the most in the Bond films, and I picked Maude Adams. She's stunning, and yet icy, cool, distant. She's great.
I think I'll function as a critic instead of as a libido. I would go back to 1962 and pick Honey Child Ryder, Ursula Andress in the first Bond picture, because she set the style, which was goodbye to the dumb sex pots of the 50s, hello to the charismatic, capable, competent, athletic women of the 60s and 70s and 80s. So she's my choice.
It's a good choice. It'd be my next pick. Now, our pledge to pick the single best Bond film of all.
Goldfinger.
And my choice? Goldfinger.
So, Goldfinger it is, and that's our salute to James Bond. Next week, we'll be reviewing 5 new films, including Star 80 with Mariel Hemingway as a Playboy Playmate of the Year whose success leads to tragedy. And until then, we'll see you at the movies.
This is Casey Coleman. Join John Telich and me for an action-packed review of Northeastern Ohio's most important prep games on high school football today. We'll have the weekend's biggest plays from the playoffs and TV8's Player of the Week award on High School Football Today, Sunday afternoon at 3 here on TV8.